So I'm going to be chopping the wild mushrooms for my dish. You can use any kind of mushrooms you like. The freshest ones that I found were trumpet mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, and just a standard brown pearl mushroom. So I'm going to be chopping these guys up. You're going to need about 1 pound for the recipe. I really like to use chanterelles. If you find chanterelles, they work excellent in this dish. I'm going to need 1 clove of garlic and 1 shallot. I'm just going to get this nice and hot, and I'm going to add some oil. Olive oil works best. It's pretty flavorful. I have this on medium heat, and I'm going to be throwing in all my mushrooms here. Just get them started. They're starting to get brown around the edges, and they're softening up, which means that you're going to want to start taking them out soon. Empty them right back into the bowl that they were in. So my roux starting to finish up here, so I'm going to be adding a 1/4 cup of white wine. You're going to want to whisk, and you're going to want to add very slowly. And now I'm going to also start adding the 1½ cups of chicken stock, or you can also make a stock out of your leftover turkey. I'm just going to throw my mushrooms back in. And I'm also going to add the cipolline onions that I roasted earlier, along with the butternut squash in the oven. Roasting really brings out a sweetness that I believe you don't get when you just saute them in the pan. I'm going to turn this down a little bit, and I'm ready to add my key ingredient, which is my leftover Thanksgiving turkey. And I'm going to use a nice big bowl of it right here and just toss that right in. So I'm just going to season. You're going to want to salt and pepper pretty generously. And I'm also going to add about 1/2 cup of light sour cream. You can use heavy if you like, but it's really unnecessary. And I'm also going to toss in a handful of fresh parsley. So while the pot simmers, I'm going to start preparing the batter for the dumpling portion of the dish. So I'm going to begin by roughly chopping my marjoram just to get the larger leaves into smaller pieces. And I'm just going to add it into this bowl here, along with my other dry ingredients, which is the baking soda, the baking powder, 1/2 cup of flour, a pinch of salt, and a pinch of pepper. I'm now going to add 1/2 tablespoon of shortening and a 1/4 tablespoon of butter into this. And I'm just going to use 2 knives, or you can use a fork, to cut the shortening into the flour. This is approximately a 1/4 cup of freshly roasted butternut squash. You can add a little more if you like it a little more squashy. And I'll just be adding that in as well. I'm also going to be adding 3 tablespoons of low-fat buttermilk. Now I'm going to be adding 1 egg yolk into the mixture and just incorporating that. When you're finished, it should look like this, and it should have a pretty thick consistency. Start scooping it into some little dishes. You can use ramekins. I get a nice portion of meat and broth in each bowl. Time to add the dumpling batter. So I'm just going to put a big dollop on top of each one. And I have my oven preheated to about 350 degrees, and these will go in there. They usually take about 15 to 20 minutes. Alright, it looks like these are just about done. Should be nice and bubbly with a brown crust on top. They're going to be kind of like a biscuit on the top and a dumpling underneath. They're going to be really good.